This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. So we had seen what is an exist function and what are the system tables and the system databases and how to use the system tables appropriately for our daily use purpose. And today, let us understand one more important concept, that is derived tables. And if the time permits, we also understand what is a cube and roll up. Okay, am I clear? So in SSAS, we create a cube, right? So in MSBA, we had three tools. One is called SSIS, the second one is called SSAS, the next one is called SSRS, right? So in SSAS, we're going to be creating a cube for the data analytics purpose. Okay, what is a cube there? We'll understand it today in SQL Server itself. Okay, so it will give you a beautiful learning points how the cube is going to work in SSAS. The same concept is implemented in SQL as well. So this is what is called a cube and roll up operators. Okay, so same cube, same thought going from here to there. So it is creating a big application called SSAS. Okay, so in SSAS, we create a cube, SQL Server Analysis Services. So, and SSIS means SQL Server Integration Services. And we have one more tool, SQL Server Reporting Services. Okay, only SQL Server. If you learn only Oracle, there is no job opportunity in this world. Clear? You need to know the other tools as well, MSBA, Power BI, and nowadays people are asking for Azure clouding. So these are the upcoming technologies that one should know. So let us understand today what is a derived table, and we'll discuss about cube and roll-up operator. So next few days we'll talk about ranking functions and CT. Almost we came to the end. Okay. So what is a derived table? Let me tell you. Let us say I write a query. I'll say use iBank, right? So use iBank. I write a query, select star from account master table. So when I execute it, what will you get it? You will get a data from this table. All the data from account master table will be given. Okay, this is a query, right? So whatever you wanted to get, you can get it. But now what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to do a instead of giving the table here. So when I'm executing this, I'm able to get this. So instead of giving the table there, what I do, I give a query there, select star from the account master table, and I'll execute this first. If I execute, what will I get? I'll get a table, right? So this table I'm going to be executing once again. Clear? So nothing else. So what is this? This is a table. So this, when I execute it, I'm able to get a table, right? So this table I'm going to be giving and try to execute it. So when you write a query, you must give a alias. Okay, you must give a alias here. So you can give any name. So when I execute, I should be able to get some data. Clear? So you may be thinking, why are we writing a query here? Instead of writing select star from employee table, why are we writing a query here? So whether you execute like this or you execute simply select star from account master table, both of them are giving same data, right? So whether you execute like this or you writing a data, the same data again you are giving it here, right? So this is also fine. In this also you're getting the same data. So what is the difference between this query and this query? Output wise, there is no difference. Both of them are working fine. but there is a beautiful learning point. What is the learning point? The learning point is we can also write a query in the from clause. That is the learning. Okay. We can also write a query in the from clause. This query is called as a derived table. This query is called as what? Derived table. So that is what is the learning point. So if you see this query, you're able to get all the data, right? 64 rows, you're able to get it. So when you execute this, what will happen? This will get executed first, and whatever be the table data that is there, so that is going to be executed and it will give you the same answer. When you execute this, you are able to get again those same 64 rows. Clear? So there is no difference at all. But what is the difference between this and this? So there is no difference if you see the data wise, but there is a beautiful learning point. What is that? A query in the from clause is called as a derived table. A query in the where clause is called as a subquery. A query in the where clause is called as a subquery, but subquery can return only one value. Single column, single value, single column, multiple values. If I wanted to get more than one value from the subquery, it is impossible. Clear? But now, what is a derived table? Derived table is this. Okay. A query in the from clause is called as a derived table. Clear? A derived table must have an alias, so you can give any name like this. So as k, as is not compulsory. As is not compulsory, you can give simply a space. You can give a space and k. What is k? K is an alias. Clear? So you should be able to execute like this. But if you don't write alias and try to execute, this will give you an error. Incorrect syntax nearby. Clear? You don't understand what is this? You can give any name D, space and a D. What is a D? D is an alias. Then if you don't understand, at least give as a D. Clear? Or some people will say it is some temporary table as a temp. Clear? So many people may give you different alias. So what is a derived table? A query in the from clause is called as a derived table. A query in the where clause is called as a subquery, right? Derived table must have alias. Derived tables can also be used in joins. Clear? Derived tables can also be used in joins. This is one more thing that I should understand. Now, this is one logic requirement. For this requirement, you need to write a logic. List the account ID, name, and a number of transactions where the account holder has done more than 3 transactions for the year 2011. So, you can easily join two tables. Why easily we can join two tables? Because account ID name available in account master table, number of cash deposits and cash withdrawals, those are called number of transactions. Okay, so this has to come from the transaction master table where the account holder has done more than 3 transactions, right? So after counting it, you need to do some kind of a elimination with the help of a having clause. Clear? So then for the year of 2011, so the date of transaction is available, right? So that is also has to be there, and you got to eliminate the data. Am I clear? Now you can easily write this query with the help of joins, right? Now let me go and try to do the same thing. Select star from account master table. I'm going to be achieving. I told you a query can be written in many ways, not only one solution for one query. You can write in different ways. A query can be written in 50 ways. Clear? So there is a beautiful article in the internet. Select star from account master table. So I wanted to know customer account and customer name and number of transaction each customer has done. So this guy has done one cash withdrawal and cash deposits, like that lot of things are available here. I wanted to simply know this, query, the answer for this query, right? List account ID name. So what normally we do, let us use joins. Simply you write as a join, and you can say as B, as whatever, as a T, and A dot account ID is equivalent to T dot account ID. I can execute this query. So I'm getting each customer and what are the number of transactions that they are doing. Clear? So this is what is called a simple table, right? Simple join. But I don't need the complete data. I need account ID, name, number of transactions. I need account ID, comma name, number of transactions means count. Okay, so here we can say number of TXNs, transactions. Clear? But account ID is available in this table and this table. It is ambiguity error. You need to give this one. Now, apart from aggregate function, whatever be the column that is there, it has to be there in the group by clause. Otherwise, this will give you an error. Already we had seen, right? So invalid list because it is not containing a group by clause. Why? Because if you see any aggregate function, this is aggregates, right? So remaining columns, whatever be the column that is there, these columns compulsorily must be there in the group by clause. Let me execute with including alias and everything. Now we had seen account ID wise, name wise, number of transactions. But I need only for year 2011. So if you remove this, put star and execute first. I need date of transactions, right? Date of transactions means there is a DOT column. We had now 55, but I need only for year 2011. So what I do, date date part, say YY comma DOT is equivalent to 2011, right? So they're giving for 1 year. So let me execute this. So I will be able to get only 396 rows. Now I apply. Now what I will apply? So all this. So these two columns, let me keep it there. And I will be able to write this one as a number of transactions. That's it. Okay. If I execute, I'm able to get Billion has done 73 cash deposits and cash withdrawals. Put together, she has done 73. Simrat has done 103. Bhaskar Jogi has done 32 transactions in the year 2011. Like that, I can get you some data. So this is what is the query, and this is what is called the question, and this is what is called a solution. Now what did I apply? I had applied joins, right? So number of transactions you wanted to have it, you need to know lot of things. This is coming from the second table, right? You cannot use subqueries because subqueries means you need to get the data from the second table, right? So second table, when you get the data, you must go in for joins. Subqueries cannot give you any data. So whether you can have only one column and on that column you can perform something. But if you wanted to return some data from the second table, because count star means we're using the second table and counting it, right? And that is where the issue starts. We cannot write a subquery in this context. We can use joins. Clear? I'm able to join. But now if you see this query looks good to me because I'm able to get the data, but this has a lot of performance issues. For performance issues means this query may be working very, very fast since I don't have much more data in this table and in this table, so that it is giving me result set in milliseconds or fraction of seconds, right? But if I have 1 million data here and 10 million data here, if I execute this query may not be a faster. Not only this query, many queries which we are writing that may not be very, very fast. What is the meaning of that? Performance wise, is this good query or bad query? Performance wise means whether it is going to take a lot of time to execute the data and get the data or not. Okay, so performance means how fast this query is going to execute. When you have large amount of data, if you see that performance angle, lot of minus points are available in this. Let me tell you one by one. First one, we are doing first, which clause will get executed, as we know, always from clause, then the where clause, then the group by clause, then the within that one more, then again you're going to be aggregating and displaying the data. So these are the steps. Now, when you execute a from clause, what will happen? All the data from this table taken, all the data from this table is taken, and we are going to join these two tables, right? Based on this number. You one equals to one equals to two, one equals to three, one equals to one, two equals to two, three equals to three. Like that matching data we are going to be retrieving. So now, after retrieving matching data, I am joining first. I'm joining first. Then after retrieving the matching data, what I'm saying, hey, I need only 2011 data. I am simply eliminating something. So I'm saying, hey, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, you get matching, you get, matched data. You get matched yourself and get the data. SQL server is going to match based on this criteria. But the problem is whether that is having 211 data, 212 data, 213 data, because it is going to be matching any record which is 1012, 1012, 1022, 102. So that may be 2011 record, 2012 record. It is not going to see that in a value, but it is going to match. So after joining millions of data, it is going to say, hey, I don't need 2012, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18 data. I need only 2011 data. So what is the meaning? You are joining unnecessarily lot of data. Then you are saying, I don't need you guys. For example, I'll say, I call everybody, you come to Dubai from America, you come to Dubai to, let us say, from India, you come to Dubai to Japan, you come to Dubai from South Africa. So all people came to Dubai. Then you're saying, if your age below, 21, then you be here, otherwise you go. Then what will you say? Whatever be the criteria that now you're telling, you should have informed before I start, right? So I came to Dubai, and now you're saying if the age is below 21, you say, otherwise you go back. So does it make any sense? Does it make any sense? The conditional criteria has to be informed first. That means you are joining the data based on this criteria, and you're eliminating the records based on this criteria. So joins are first, elimination is faster. This is very, very dangerous because the joins are very, very costly operation. Joins not so easy. When you have less amount of data, you think that joins are very, very good. But when you have a 10 million data in this table, because a transaction table means every day people are going to do a lot of transactions, right? So large amount of data will be available in this table. So you're joining first, then after joining you're saying, hey, I don't need 2012, 2013, 2014, 2016. No records I need 2011 data. So joins something. Joining first is very, very bad. And then filtering, you're doing it later. So that is a completely bad idea. Instead of joins first, elimination later, you do elimination first, then you get the data. First, what you do? You go, you eliminate the all the data, get only 2011 data. So because this column is available in transaction master table, first you go to the table, eliminate whatever you don't need. Then you got some data, and with data, you try to join with this. So what we should do? Always eliminate data, filter the data as soon as possible, join the data as late as possible. But now we are joining the data as soon as possible and eliminating the data as late as possible. This is a dangerous condition. Are you clear? So that is the first step in this query. Clear? So join the data as late as possible, filter the data as soon as possible. That is one understanding. First, from clause will get executed. It is going to join all the data from this table to this table, right? So based on this account ID, it is not going to say whether this record belong to 2011, 2010, and 2019 or 2020. It is not going to see. Based on this criteria, it is going to be matching. Very busy in matching. But now I am saying, hey, I need only 2011 records. But why are we joining those records then? Because we are joining based on this criteria, right? So joining all the data, then you are saying, I don't need that record. Then why are you joining? Right? So it is a waste of money, time, energy. So joining is very, very costly operation. Remember this, because joins is very, very faster when you have less amount of data. Joins are very, very bad when you have more amount of data. So there is a learning point. What is the learning point? Join the data as late as possible, eliminate the data as soon as possible. So those are the learning points. Clear? So that is one issue. This is not very good query. This may work today, and your manager, your team lead will say, this is not the right way of writing this query. You rewrite the query and submit. So that is what they say. They put 20 million data and they'll show you the result set. It will take at least 20 to 30 minutes of time. Performance wise, this query is very, very bad. The second issue, group by lengthy column names is very, very bad. Group by shortened column name. For example, account ID 1234101102102. I can group the data very, very easily. But grouping by name is very, very difficult, right? For example, I need to read complete string simret. I have to read the complete string, then I should be able to group it, right? So grouping means you need to read complete varchar value string data. You may be having name, may be having 100 characters or maybe 200 characters. I have to read the complete data and grouping. So grouping is also very, very costly operation. But when we have very lengthy names, so reading millions of data and comparing and doing grouping operation on the lengthy column names is very, very difficult. So your manager says, don't use lengthy column names in the group by clause. You delete because he's not allowing. But when you delete, will it work if I delete something here? So it is not going to work because whatever is available here, it has to be there. So you also delete here. Why? Because your manager is not allowing to have a group by name, lengthy columns in this, performance wise bad. So is not allowing. So you will be able to get this. But if you get this, again, your manager is asking, I wanted to have name also. But if you put the name here, if you write the name of the customer, then it is not going to work, and you need to write the name as well here. If you write the name as well here, again your team lead is saying, I don't need name to be there in the group by clause because it is the lengthy name. Group by clause always must have shortened columns, not lengthy names. And this is also performance wise bad query, right? So 2 points I told you. What are they? Always filter rows as early as possible and join as late as possible. So what are we doing in the query? We are joining first, eliminating later. Avoid using lengthy columns in the group by clause. So instead of a city, Group by city, that is bad. Group by city ID. Group by employee name is bad. Group by employee ID. If at all, if you have employee ID there. Grouping by country is bad. When you have less amount of data, there is no issue, I'm telling you. When you have a large amount of data, performance issues will come. Performance issues means the query is going to take a lot of time to execute. Why? More amount of data is there, poorly written your syntax. You did not understand how the query is going to, act or going to start its logic, right? The logic is you have written, you're able to get some output. So that is not the final syntax or the logic or the command. We know a query can be written in 50 ways. Clear? So I'll try to, apply this formula and try to rewrite the query with the help of a concept called derived table. Sometimes joins are good. Sometimes subqueries are good. Sometimes derived tables are good. So nothing is good, nothing is bad. It is situation, right? So as I told you, if I wanted to go to moon, rocket is good. If I wanted to go to supermarket, bike is good or car is good. Depends upon the situation. You cannot say always rocket is good and bike is bad, or always you say rocket is bad, bike is good. So nothing is good, nothing is bad in this world. Everything is good, but depends upon your usability. Clear? So based on your usage. So based on that, sometimes joins are good, sometimes joins are bad, sometimes, and the derived tables are good, sometimes subqueries are good, sometimes correlation subqueries are good. So you need to use them, appropriately. It comes with your experience. Day one, you cannot become, like a Bhaskar Jogi, right? So I have 20 plus years of experience. You cannot compare. I wanted to become an expert like my teacher. So that cannot happen in one day, or by attending one class, you cannot become, right? So you need to practice more and more, more and more. And so there is a saying, you need to write minimum 10,000 lines of code, then only you can become an expert. Okay, IT people will say minimum 10,000 lines of code you should write, then only you can become an expert. Now you count how many lines of code you have written, right? So if you write 10,000 lines of code on your own hands, right, then you'll become an expert. So it is only 4 lines of code, right? So like that you count. So I'm going to be applying derived table concept. So what I'm trying to do, I wanted to eliminate the data first. So this is the table where this column is available. What I'm trying to do, let me use this table. I go to this table. I see account ID is available and date of transaction is available. But what is not available? Name is not available. Only for the name purpose, I need to go to account master table. So that we can do it later. What I do, I use this table and I apply the where clause directly on this table first. Clear? I go apply. So we have now 550 rows or records. Clear? Now I wanted to take only 2011 data. So now without joining, I go to this table and I eliminate records. Fine. Elimination is done. Then after that, what I'm trying to do, I'm getting 396 records. So elimination is done without joining anything. Then I'm saying I wanted to have account ID and number of transaction. I would like to count each customer number of transactions that they have done it as count, or number of transactions that they are doing. Will it work? It is not going to work. Why? Apart from aggregate function, remaining columns has to be there in the group by clause. We know that. So it is, this column has to be there in the group by. Okay, group by account ID. There is no join. Simply I am using this table and getting some data now. Okay, so you can give any beautiful name here. Copy this name. So this is the name I wanted to give. So did I Join anything? No, I did not join anything. I'm able to get the data. Clear? But what is missing from above query to this query? Name is missing. When you execute both queries, see 101 is billion 73 records. 73, 103, I'm able to get it. But names I'm not able to get it. Names are available in one more table, right? So what I do, this is the data. This is a table. When you execute, this is a table. I have account ID and number of transactions, right? So these are the two things. Now what I do, I join now the one more table. Select star from account to master table. Now I'm going to be joining account to master as a join, and this is one query. This query I'm going to be putting it here, right? So this is the query I'm going to be writing, and this query I'm saying as k. This is one table, and this is also one table, right? Because this is also one more table. So this is called as a derived table. Now, when I'm joining, I say on condition a dot account ID, and this table has also one more account ID, k dot account ID. Now I'm able to join this query with this table. Now, if I execute, which clause will get executed? From clause. Always from clause will get executed. Now, this table is going to get the data, but if I wanted to join, this data has to be there in the table first. So, in this query will get executed first. This query will get executed. This will give me data. This will give me data first. This data is available in the RAM. This data is available in the RAM. Now, first it will create copy with headers. It will execute. It will keep the data something like this. Okay. It will keep the data like this. So then it is executed. This table name is called K because I need to give some name to the table, right? This table name is called K. So this is going to be executing means this portion will get executed first. This is going to have some data. Again, this table will get executed. Now this is going to get all the data. Copy with headers. All the data is going to come there. Okay. Now all the data is going to come. Now what are we doing? So this column and this column we are going to be joining. This column, this is AM master table, and 101 101 we are mapping, and you can get this row with this row, 102 to this row, like that. All the data we're able to get it. So all the data you can get it. So these rows plus these two rows. Clear? But what all you need? You need a dot account ID, comma, name, and this is the name of the column. What is the name of column? Number of transactions. This is name of the column in the K table. Simply you put the column name. See now already you have aggregated. You take this column and this column and this column. No need to do aggregations. Already you have done the aggregation. Now you display that. Now you execute the above query and below query. You see the answers. Answer wise there is no difference. See, 101 billion 73, 101 billion 73, 102 simret 103, 102 simret 103. But output wise there is no difference, but execution wise there is a difference. So here what will happen? What will happen in this? So first what is going to be happening, this portion of the query will get executed. It is eliminating the data first, grouping by, there is no name. Have you seen this? There is no name available. So this data will get executed first, and it is going to be getting this data. Then later I am going to be joining. The join operation will get executed. Once this is executed, this is eliminating the data first, then keeping and grouping everything, keeping the data one in a temporary space, that is in the RAM. Then later it is going to be joining in the account master table, joining with account master table. Then you're able to display the data. So there is no group by name, but at the end there is a name available. Clear? and there is no point in which the joins are not executed first, because if I wanted to use join, this query must be executed first. If I wanted to execute this first, you can execute, but elimination is going to happen first. Elimination, then you got some data here. Now with this data, you're going to be joining this table based on account id. K dot account id is equivalent to am dot account id. That is what I have written. A dot account ID is equivalent to K dot account ID. You must give an alias. And derived table means a query. You can have any number of columns. You can also put star, but I don't want to put star here. This is my requirement. Clear? So you can also write a derived tables in the joins, and derived tables must have an alias. And this query will be a faster query because it is going to be eliminating first and joining later. When you execute this query, how the SQL server is going to be executing, it is going to be executing this portion of the query first. It is going to be putting all the data into the RAM, then it will go get all the data from account master table, then it is going to be performing joins operation. First elimination is going to happen, then whatever be the data that you are getting and the grouping, everything is going to be happening. Then later here to get the name from the another table, what we're doing, we are joining. Have you seen this? The difference? So both of them are using joins, but the way you execute, now not you, the way the SQL server executes this query is completely far, the difference, you will have lot more differences. That's what you need to understand. Clear? So here raw data will get executed and it will get joined, but here this eliminations and everything is going to be happening on the data. You get some data, then you're trying to join with this. Clear, guys? So sometimes derived tables are fantastic. So this is one of the examples where you must be able to use derived table. Clear? So which query is good? Definitely this query is bad. The performance wise, this query is bad, but definitely this query is not good, fantastic. Okay. You should also, have put lot amount of data. We don't have large amount of data in the transaction master table, but in the real time, if you go to a banking application and try to execute this query, this will take a lot of time to execute it. The the Citibank people will say the technical support guys need to analyze this query, and they must be able to rewrite the query. Clear? So otherwise, there is no point in that. Whatever be the query they have written, that is not the final one. So this query may not work. They'll say you rewrite the query, and or they'll say improve the performance improvement. Okay, do some performance gain tips you need to apply. So this is one of the tip I had applied in this query. Not every time we can use derived tables. In some queries you must use a different other techniques. In this I'm going to be using this technique. Clear? So people would ask you, can you tell me some tips to improve the query performance? You can say that these 2 points are fantastic points that you can tell them. Clear? And you can also tell them create shorten columns for the primary keys and unique keys. If we have a very bigger number in the primary key, that is again a lengthy column. If we have 100 digit number, 20 200 digit number for your primary keys, key columns always must be shortened. Clear? And never use select star every time, right? So star is means if you have thousands of columns, all the data it is going to bring. So instead of star, you better go in for required column list. Clear? So that is also you should be able to get it. So many people will ask me, sir, if I wanted to get all the columns, okay, so what I should do? All columns I need. So you never use star. because star means all columns. So you need to write the column names. So writing a column names is very, very irritating job. But how do I get all the column names here? So there is a trick that you can play. When you go to tables and when you go to account master table, so these are the columns. If you need all the columns, what you do, you remove the star here and you go to columns and drag and drop the columns here. That's all the columns you can get easily. So this is a trick that you need to play. See, if you don't need all the columns and remove it. Clear? So you don't type like this account ID, comma, name. You will get irritated. You will get irritated by typing all of them. So what you do? Instead of putting a star, if you need all the columns, you remove this and you go to columns and drag and drop this. That's it. Okay. So this is a trick that you can play all the column easily. You will be able to get it. Clear? So if you need a single column or two columns, don't put it. Simply drag and drop account ID and a comma, drag and drop PID, then drag and drop U balance like that. You should be able to drag and drop whatever you wanted to drag and drop. Clear? So this is how you are going to be doing an activity. Clear? If you need the complete columns, so what is the trick you need to follow? You need to go to columns and drag and drop this. This is the easiest way you can get all the columns. Okay. This is a performance improvement tip. Okay. So now, yesterday, I was talking about this query. Anybody tried, guys? So what is the question they asked? They asked find out month-wise number of new customers. In the January month, there are two people are there, C1 and C2. Okay. In the February, we have uh, C3 and C4 is a new customer, is not a new customer because he's already came in the this one. Okay, so this guy is not a new customer. So in January we have two new customers. In February we have three, but this guy is the old customer. The number of new customers only two. So you need to find out only the new customers. In the March we have this is the March record. In the March, C5 is the new and C6 is the new, C4 is old customer, and C2 is what? C2 is again old customer. So the answer is here too. Clear? Find out month-wise number of number of new customers. So output will be January 2, February 2, and March is also 2. So this is the output. I should be able to get it. So what is the logic you need to experiment it? So you can apply that because end of the day logic is important, right? Without logic we will not be able to answer this. So how to do a logic? So one of the logic, so what we can apply on this is first you take this one. Okay, you take this and you group it. Okay, grouping by C1. So when you take grouping, so what will happen? Grouping by customer. Grouping a customer means all C1 data will be grouped. C1 data will come, C1 and C1, and C2 data. Okay, C2 data will get grouped, C3 data, C3, like that. You have to group by customer ID. Clear? So that is what customer ID or customer wise we need to group it, and after grouping it, so I wanted to perform aggregate function. So on this, what I do, I apply a minimum of DOS. Minimum of DOS means minimum date function. For example, let us say this. Let me take Excel sheet. Let me try to put this. So what is that I am planning to do? So for example, let us take this is a date of sales and this is the customer ID and this is some sales amount. Clear? Now let us say in January 2nd, 2020, customer C1, customer C1 is bought some product in, let us say, in 13th of January, customer C2, sorry, so he's going to be having, okay, he's going to be having, and let us say bought some products. So 10th and this one, and next let us say February 21st, okay, 21st, 2020, customer C3 bought some products. So let us say 150. Okay. Now 24th of February. Okay. 24th of February, one more customer C1 and came, he got some product. Clear? So what is that I wanted to do? I wanted to group on this data. So grouping means C1 data one side, C2 data one more side, like that I wanted to have it. So this record is going to come. So let me take this record is going to come here. Again, this record is going to come this side. Okay, this is what grouping by C1. So this is some data, and the next data, Ravina, I think everybody is able to hear me, right? Ravina is facing issues. Guys, can you hear me? Others can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
okay, C1 and
Yes,
C1,
I
I'm
can hear you.
grouping it. So this
Hi,
data will
sir.
get
For
grouped
some
like
reason,
this.
I switched my screens also, and I cannot hear you. Is it everyone or just me?
You are able, you are not able to hear, right? So can you reconnect, Ravina? So next one is that C1 is grouped, then this record is will get grouped. Okay, this is one more grouping. So this data is going to go to this group, and we have C3. For example, if you have in March month, okay, so let us say some 10th March and 20, C3 is also bought something. And now what will happen? C2 we have only one record, right? C2 we have only one record, and we don't have any other records. And C3 we have some more records. Now one more grouping is going to be happening like this. Let me keep this grouping here. So C3 record is going to come here, and C3 record is going to be coming here. Clear? So like that, total how many groups? Total three groups happen. One is C1, the second one is C2, the next one is C3. So this is one grouping, this is second grouping, this is second group. So first you need to group it by C1. So if I wanted to create this, I think we have a customer table already created. Okay, so I have this data already, right? So this is created. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to put customer ID, okay, and what I'm trying to do, grouping by customer ID. So I'm able to get this one. Okay, so when you grouping is happening here, but after grouping, what I do, definitely I should have a aggregate function, right? So C1 data grouped like that, C2 data grouped like this, C3 data grouped like this with along with some other data. So within this, I wanted to find out minimum of DOS. So I need to put an aggregate function here. What is the minimum of date of sales as min date? Clear? I wanted to find out what is the minimum date. So within the group, what is the minimum date? Minimum date is this. So the final output would be you will get customer ID, and what is the minimum date? This will give you minimum date. So customer ID is C1, minimum date. I don't need this date. I need the minimum date. This will come here. Clear? In this, you have only one thing. The C2 is going to come. In this, what is the minimum date? The minimum date is this. Only one record is there. This is the minimum record. Okay. And in the C3, what is the minimum record? Minimum record is this is a maximum. This is a minimum. So C3 minimum value is this. So C3 is going to come. You're going to be getting minimum value is this. Clear? Minimum value this. That's it. Now you see C1 how many times in January? So C1 only one. C2 is only new customer in this month, and C3 is the one more customer in this. So you can see only by playing this trick you will be able to eliminate all duplicates, because C1, even though he has purchased many times, I'm going to be getting, if it is there in the January month, I don't need to take this guy count in the February month. Clear? So I'm grouping it and getting the first month only. So that is how the C1 customer is available here. Clear? And C2 customer is available in this, this one also. In the month of January, you will be able to get these two guys. Clear? In the month of February, you will be able to get only one guy. So this is how you should be able to play the trick. Clear? So I will be able to get like this. So after that, what I do, I play, I wanted to know customer count, right? Select, this is the minimum date, right? So what I do, select star from this table. I'm going to be using as a derived table, right? This table as a derived table, say as K, right? This will give me a lot of data, but I take minimum data. I need month wise. I'll take, so this data, I'll say date part, or you can say date name, whatever you want to have, date name. I say this. Okay, this is the column name, minimum date, as month name, comma. I would like to count the records. Simply, you should be able to put how many times, how many new customers are there in this month. CNT. Clear? So this will be not aggregate. This is aggregate function, right? Aggregate function means the remaining column has to be there in the group by clause. So you need to write a group by here. So group by a date part. Okay. So group by a date part. That is what you need to have it. So when you execute it, so you should be able to get January two times. Okay. In the February, March, two new customers, and the April we have only one customer. So this is the data. I'll, let me show you this data. Then we can see whether it is correct or wrong. Clear? So this is the data. And based on this data, you should be able to find out whether it is a right one or wrong one. Clear? So this is the data I'm talking about. So it is, how is that? It is, let me take this data. Okay, now you see, I have two records. Okay, I have two records in this. I have two records in this. I have two records in this. I have three records in this. I wanted to find out new customers in January. Who are the new customers? These two are the new. January, you're supposed to get it two. February, this is the customer. February, this is the new customer, and this is the old customer. So in February, you're supposed to get 1 month, right? Then you will say March. In February, you have total how many records? Two records, but this is the old customer, this is the new customer. So March we have these two, C4 and C5, because C4 is C5 new completely. So you should be able to get two records. And what about April? April we have C3 is old customer, we don't need. C6 is a new customer, and April we supposed to get a 2. So it is a 2, 1, 2, 2. Jan, Feb, March, April. So it is when you execute this, you supposed to get Jan 2, right? January 2. And you can just take this date, copy with headers, and you go and you just put it here. Okay. Month name. April is what? 2. April is 2. March is 2. And January is 2. And February is 1. February is 1. Have you seen this? So this is how you should be able to get the data. What we are going to be doing, you have to grouping by customer ID and get the minimum. When you get the minimum, you will be able to eliminate this fellow. Clear? You're able to eliminate this fellow. So you will be able to get one record. For this one, only this record. The next record will not come. So for this guy, only this record will come. So this record you're going to be eliminating. So that is what will happen. Clear? And for the next one also, this guy is going to come like this. Clear? Like that is going to be coming. If you have any other guy, if you have two guys or three guys, so you should be able to get the data very, very easily by putting this logic. Clear? So you grouping by customer and find out the minimum balance. This is step number one. Using this data, so this is a derived table concept. Using this data, I'm going to be applying what? So get the customer ID and the minimum date using this minimum date function. So I need to get the month and how many times this is repeatable. So I'm able to get this. Clear? Then, so whatever you're writing it here, the same thing you will be able to keep it here. Okay, you will be able to get April, February, this one. But I wanted to get in proper order. Proper order means you need to say order by what? Order by month name. So when you put the month name, A will come first, but I need January has to come first, right? If that is the case, what you do, you have to write one more thing here that is called date part. Okay, number. So now you take this as well, right? Control C, and you can have Control V, right? This is month number. Okay, so apart from aggregate function, this is one column and this is one more column. These two columns have to be there in the group by clause. So when you execute this, you will be able to get month number, count, and this one month name and month number. So now it is in the proper order. Have you seen it? 1, 2, 3, 4, January 5th. Now you can do this column. This column, what you do? Put in ascending order. So when you put in ascending order, so it will be like this. If you don't want to display this data, you can remove also. But if you remove, month number cannot be given here. So you need to give, put like this. Okay, put like this. You can remove the complete thing. You don't want to display that. But when you see the data, now it will Jan, Feb, March, April. Clear? It is now in the proper order. If you wanted to display in the proper order, compulsorily you need to grouping by number. Okay. If you want to display it, you can display it. But if you don't want to display it, you can need not display, but you should be able to put this in the order by clause. So number one, number two, number three, number four. So January, February, March, April. So this is how the final result would be. Clear? So this is a latest interview question that they asked. Okay, so how to find out month wise number of new customers, or they may ask you find out week wise number of new customers. Only here you need to put week number. That's it. If you put week number, in this also you need to put week number. In this also you need to put week number. That's it. Here also you need to put week number. WW. Okay, there's a week. So week wise any new customers like that. So people may ask you different questions, year-wise new customers, you know, or month-wise new customers. So the logic is very simple. What is that? Grouping by customer and minimum date then this must be in the derived table, and using this query you should be able to find out the month name and the number of times that is available. Clear, guys? And this is the query and this is the logic that you should be able to use and get it. So always getting the logic is difficult part. So that for that purpose you need to think a lot. Am I clear? So tomorrow we'll discuss about what is a cube operator and what is a roll-up operator. Then we can proceed to ranking functions. Clear? So ranking functions and everything we'll discuss. Okay, guys, any questions? You're welcome. Okay. So before proceeding to ranking functions and all, we'll review a school case study, okay, in one session because I wanted to know how you have done these queries. Because if I don't review it, it will be bad. Then definitely we'll review once and we'll see how the things clear. Any other questions? So make sure that today and tomorrow you have time. Please complete and review yourself school case study first. Clear? And if you're able to write it and send me those questions. And if you're not able to, understand what is the question itself, also you can ask me, sir, I did not understand this question. Okay, you answer, you call me, or you can, WhatsApp me your issues. Sir, school case study second question, I did not understand. Okay, so what is the meaning of that query? Can you tell me? Can you explain me the query first? So I can explain the query in English. So solutions you can try it out, but make sure that in by today and tomorrow at least you're writing those queries and give a try. Because if you don't try it, it will be bad, right? So your brain can understand when you do something. Okay, your brain cannot understand when somebody teaches you something. Clear, guys? So you need to do, then only you can understand the concept. Otherwise, you think that queries are very, very easy.